What's going on, my dudes? This is Mr. Gardner and this is Math Time with Mr. G. Today we're going to work on system of linear inequalities. So we're going to take our dashed and solid lines and shading above and below, and we're going to take two lines, put them on the same graph, and see where do they overlap. So quick reminder, if it's just greater than or just less than, then this is a dashed line. But if it's or equal to, that's going to be a solid line. Greater than means shade above, less than shades below. So I'm going to graph these two lines. So I have my dashed line shaded above, my solid line shaded below. But a system means, what if we put these two graphs and put them on the same graph and ask where do they cross? Okay, so now that I've put both of these graphs on the same graph, do we see where they overlap right here in this section? There's an area where neither graph is, just the red graph, just the blue graph, and then there's a section where both of them mix, making this purple region. This purple region is the system of equations. So when I were to plug in an answer of saying, where's a good place for me to eat? All of this red would work. A good place for my wife to eat? All of this blue would work. So purple are the only real choices that we would want. White is a place that neither of us would want to go out for dinner. Alright, so let's see where this is useful in purchasing. So I can purchase socks, I can purchase water bottles, and I have a budget for each of them, but what's my budget when I put both of them together? So Malaya has $500 to purchase water bottles and a pair of socks for a fundraiser for her school's cross-country team. She needs to buy a total of 200 items without buying too many items of just one. So she doesn't want to waste money and needs to buy for all 200 people. What graph shows the possible number of water bottles and pairs of socks that Malaya should buy? So what can we buy the most items for the bang for our buck? So when I add these two together, I have some socks plus some water bottles, and it has to be more than or equal to 200 items. So this is item plus item equals item. Now I'm going to do money plus money equals money. So it's $3 per sock plus $2 per water bottle, and the cost of all this has to be less than or equal to their budget of $500. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganize this to get into y equals form, and then I'm just going to graph it. And then I subtracted 3 to the other side and divided by 2 and divided by 2. So I'm going to graph these two lines, shade above, shade below, and then see where they cross. So where was the place where it overlapped? It's this region right here. And what does this mean? It means I can have y represents water bottles. So this means I could have 200 water bottles and 0 socks. And as I move down, this may be 100 water bottles going this way and 100 socks going this way, until I get down to the very bottom, and this is 200 socks and 0 water bottles. That's what this red line represents. And we can have any items amount over that line. Blue is my budget, so if I spend all of my budget on water bottles, this is the 166 water bottles or 166 socks we could buy. And if we spent nothing else but water bottles, we could buy 240 water bottles. So our sweet spot is somewhere in this region for budget and amount. Alright, if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. But other than that, be kind to each other, ask lots of questions, and think deeply.